What's going on, DMV? Once again, it's that show. You know what it is. It's that show. It's Open Shots. You know what it is. Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. I'm Alex. I'm your host. Thanks for coming back. My co-host is with us again by the name of
Rick.
Rick, what you sipping on over there?
Motherfucking Hanneken, you already know. You know what it is.
Right on. And once again, special guest coming back, making it a trio is Mr. Sean Taylor, No Vowels.
SC
What's good with you, Mr. Taylor?
Nothing much, man.
Everything good? What you sipping on?
Oh, yeah, that's right. This week I said I'm a drink, right?
Yeah.
Next week.
You don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Next week. I got you.
Yeah. So, but anyway, man, what's good with y'all, man? Everybody's week's been good, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Taylor, how your past couple weeks been?
Oh, I'm just looking at the future of the new Washington Buckeyes. So when we talk football, we'll get to them.
Right on. How about you,
I ain't doing shit. I've been doing this, I've been doing the same shit since I've been doing since motherfucking March.
Right.
Working, come home, and drinking. That's it.
Ain't shit
changed, young. Ain't shit changed. Yeah. We can't go nowhere. We here.
Right on.
Hey, you know what? The best thing we living.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. It's extremely important. You know what I'm saying? Well, right on. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's just been, again, 2K, watching like basketball highlight films and, you know what I'm saying? Trying to
I did that, but I get old after a while. I keep watching the old games, dog. I can't do it no more.
Yeah, I just try and find like random players like Jamal Crawford and, you know what I mean? Like kind of like underdogs that is kind of like Bobby Jackson, of course, Rasheed Wallace, Tim Duncan, just like, you got to get creative with it to be like, I forgot about
doing
that guy.
Conspiracy theory shit when you try to put that shit on Netflix, how the fucking world was flat and the missile shot in the air and it bounced back down and some crazy shit like that. I was like, yo, what the fuck is you showing me?
But the thing is that it's just interesting to hear that kind of shit.
I couldn't believe he was showing me some crazy shit like that. I was like, dog, what you mean? Yeah?
That's the flat earth living in the
He showed it to you too?
I seen that a long time ago, man.
He showed me some crazy shit with a missile bounced back and came back down. I said, nah, man, that shit screenshot. That shit don't have me.
Hey, man.
Hey,
it's
you
a
know
different perspective.
This shit don't have it, yeah. Then he tried to say like the United Nations flag, that's how the fucking world is shaped. And then he started giving like airplane routes. Like, why they take that route? Like, I don't know. I'm not a pilot. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, you never know. Look, there's potential arguments for that. But anyway, let's get it. Let's get into the topics here on Open Shots. Once again, I'm your host, Alex. This is Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. We're recording on the full eye, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that, y'all decided to do, a podcast as opposed to being outside.
We usually like that shit up. This 4th of July, we like that shit up to, but not today, but usually every year we it's like Afghanistan when we out there. Jones going off, true. All that shit. So that's the only thing I miss about this year 4th of July. It ain't like how it's supposed to go down.
Right, exactly. So it's definitely a tradition down there on Kennedy. So, all right, let's get into the topics. Upshur. So let's get into the topics. We're going to talk about Donald Trump again, umbrella topics, a lot of stuff going on with Donald Trump this past 2 weeks. Coronavirus, of course, we got to talk about that. And then a topic that we were getting into last show, we just really couldn't get into it that deep, is a question, which is the South holding us back? So we're going to get into that. Of course, we're going to do a sports, look at and see where we're at. And, NFL topics, of course, right now with the Redskins is going to be the focus for that. NBA in a month. So that's definitely good. Somebody, like I told somebody, NBA's coming back in a month. They was like, well, who's going to watch that? I was like, me.
Even though I don't think they should be playing, but I'm going to watch that shit. Why not?
Exactly.
Watching it with no crowd. I was just telling somebody
like, are you a communist? What are you talking
watching this shit with no crowd is going to be like when you was watching your kids play, when they was in Little League. You know what I'm saying? When they playing, nobody was in the fucking gym.
They're already doing it in Europe in the soccer leagues,
right?
Football.
But you know what? Why they better than us is because they fucking going down. We keep going up.
Yeah,
that's why they can open up their fucking sport. That's a damn
leadership says a lot.
Every time they show that fucking graph, it pisses me off. I'm like, how the fuck the whole fucking European Union they flattening their curve, but we still going up?
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start off right now with topic number 1, Donald Trump. So looking at Donald Trump, we know that in the past 2 weeks there has been noise about that there's been a bombing by Russians on U.S. troops in Afghanistan. So we're going to look into that. His Twitch account has been suspended over hate speech. He retweeted a white power video, retweeted a homo guns protesters. Asylum immigration rule has been struck down in a federal appeals court. So another loss for Donald Trump. The EU is reopening the border. U.S. is excluded. And Biden is taking the lead in campaign money overall, and especially this past month. So let's get into it. Donald Trump. Was he aware? Was he unaware? Did his aides tell him that there was a bounty by Russians soldiers to kill U.S. troops in Afghanistan? Because
come on, he the president. How he not aware?
Well, Bolton is saying that he knew.
That's what I'm saying. But he the president. Why wouldn't he know? Why wouldn't they give him this type of information? The way they protect this man is ridiculous, young. And everybody that do this shit, they gonna pay for that shit when he no longer president.
Yeah, but like you said, it's a legacy.
So supposedly, I guess what the difference would be is you can get a verbal warning and you can get like a written warning. And like the written warning, someone might see it and say, hey, did you see that they had that in the memo? So that's kind of what they're looking at. They're looking at because it was like a written memo, did it get addressed to him to where he was like, oh, this is something I should take serious? Or were they just like, okay, yeah, this is just speculation? And that's kind of
or is it something that he don't want to hear about?
I mean, it could be that too, because I can remember back around this time too, where we're seeing stuff like Russia and American troops get into fights, little dog fights and stuff like that there. And anytime I hear Russia and us, I get worried because I feel the president is gonna take Russia's side. You know what I mean? So
it kind of seems like he may be doing that.
I think this shit's true.
Hearing
somebody obviously leaked this shit out to the reporter. No, reporters don't make shit up like this.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
The shit is true.
Fox News, but not like a bunch of reporters. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
maybe like on Barack.
Like whoever leaked. I think it was the New York Times or whatever, right? Whatever reporter did that shit, he's probably like an investigative type reporter. He ain't gonna fuck up his name. He might, but he ain't gonna fuck up his credibility to make up a story like this. And if it was fake, I'm pretty sure they would be like, yeah, that shit fake. And people by now would be like, yeah, that shit fake. There's too many news organizations that confirm that shit's fucking true.
Right. All right. So then the question is it incompetence? Was it ignored? You know, was it
the main reason why he do that shit to him? Why he fucking just like let him do shit like that to him? Why he let Putin play him like that?
So you're saying he knew. But is he playing incompetent?
I don't know, but I'm just saying because Donald Trump don't give a fuck about nobody. He cares about himself.
Yeah, it's true.
He don't care about Americans. He didn't even think he was gonna get fucking elected. So now everything he do now is to benefit him, not benefit me and you. He don't give a fuck about you. He don't even care about his base. He just lied to them, and they so stupid. They believe that shit. Donald Trump don't give a fuck about nobody but himself.
Right. It's true. All right. So he knew about it. He didn't care. So he just ignored it. Like, whatever.
It don't matter. Really all he care about is getting his agenda passed through and getting reelected. To me personally, that's all I think he care about is reelection.
So
that's
really
That's why he's fucking. That when I said this shit fucking a couple weeks ago, he's fucking playing politics with American lives, opened up the country too early, and now all those fucking states that were sucking his dick, all them southern governors are like going to reopen this shit to get the economy going to help his reelection. Now they getting slammed.
Okay, so I mean. I'm kind of in agreement that he knew. He just didn't care, you know.
Well, he gave a fuck. Let's look at when they say he knew, right? I can remember when Bill Barr came on, Bill Barr, William Barr, whatever you want to call him, when he came on the scene, and they were showing meetings of them while they're discussing important topics, and he made a statement saying, "Well, you know, our president doesn't like to read." You know, so I've heard that so many times, and even from someone who backs him, he just doesn't read. The guy is not a literate person.
Look how they dummy down and how low the bar is set for a dummy president.
Yeah,
how low the bar they set to become president. I mean, to act as president. This dumb motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. So. We're in agreement. He, you know, like you said, he just didn't care. Wasn't even looking into it.
He didn't care. He didn't.
Yeah.
It's how the government.
And he has no foreign. He has no foreign diplomacy, no foreign experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he don't care. So, I agree with y'all. He don't give a fuck because he he's not. There's nothing we can do to get him out of office because the Republicans will never impeach him.
Right.
So he could do.
So moving on,
he do anything he wants.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying he
moving on to the
next.
So moving on to the next Donald Trump topic, Twitch, which is some kind of social media, some shit. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't even fuck with it. So
well, no.
anyway,
Twitch is huge. Twitch is huge.
Okay,
Twitch
yeah. But I'm just saying, I just don't know about it. But anyway, they suspended Trump's account over hate speech. He retweeted the white power video. I think that was like on Instagram or on Facebook. Like, you know,
Twitch or Twitter. Is there two different ones?
Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, so Twitch. Let's break down Twitch to those who don't know what it is.
I don't know what Twitch is. I know what Twitter is.
Soon as
Twitter's when you tweet, right?
You get an Xbox. Like some of the things that they have, like let's say you want to buy a game and they have a whole entire community where it's almost like the Instagram of video gaming, where you put your clips on there, or if people want to know what the game is like, they can go on your Twitch and they can watch you play. So it's like a base just for gamers, and it's, you know, evolved into more than just that now. You can kind of like share a little bit of your personal life if like people are really following you and they want to see you more than the games you play. They can just get on Twitch and be on there. But most of the people who use it, normally it's because they want to record what they're doing while they're playing the games. And they normally will interact with other game players while they're doing that. And the history of it has been that 5-year-old kid 20 years ago is now in his what did he be, like 25, and he's on there and he's saying racial shit. You know what I mean? You got guys who can't fight, but they're on there and they're all saying racial shit. They're all dropping N-bombs. So Twitch, you know, for a while they've had this problem in how do we take down all this racial hate. So the first thing they started doing, they went after a lot of like the Trump, what he had on Twitch. It's kind of been inactive for 3 months. So it was almost like a safe call to take it down since he wasn't using it anyways, but to also send a message. But what they've also did was they were saying that they were going to have this massive surge of just banning anybody with hate speech on there. And everybody thought it was a joke, but lo and behold, they did it. So shortly after they got rid of Trump, they went and they just snatched a whole bunch of other subscribers as well. So the George Floyd,
but as a president to be lumped into that category, I mean, it's like,
that's sad. That's sad, and it's sad that nobody say shit to him, not his own party. They say nothing
but
to him.
You know what? This is where it's at though. Because you would have thought Twitter would have done it a long time ago. You would have thought Facebook would have done it a long time ago. And they've all been waiting. Who's going to make the first big move? Twitch did. So now everybody else is going to line up. And you might just see all of his shit just dropping one by one by one by one.
He's sending out a lot of fucking dog whistles in the past couple of days, Yang. Like, this motherfucker, he going outrageous.
Right, and then they're gonna
have to answer to this shit. All them fucking Republicans right now in Congress and Senate or whoever fuck is running 2020, they're gonna have to answer for that shit when he's no longer in office. And if y'all still believe in that racist shit y'all was believing when he was fucking president. Because he pushed that dog whistle far enough where them racist motherfuckers be like, yeah, he talking to us, and I know what he's talking about when it's this heritage shit. I'm like, Slim, you from New York? What the fuck you know about Southern heritage?
But I'm going to be honest with you. Just outside of that, the big problem that we have with the whole social media thing is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren were the front runners. They don't like big Facebook. They don't like big anything. So all the people in Silicon Valley, they were just like, holy shit, we're not really going to get on Trump because as long as they're the front runners, we're not going to support them so they can break us down and you know, make us smaller companies. But now that Biden is going to be the front runner and it looks like he has it.
Well, he's already the nominee. Yeah,
he's already the nominee. So all of that allying with Donald Trump is gone. So that's kind of like the perfect timing as Joe Biden is coming up. And Joe's going to be like, oh, yeah, Facebook, you can do whatever you want. Mark Zuckerberg, he's coming at Trump now, you know, so that's really what's playing into a lot of this too, is people in Silicon Valley, that tech center, they're anti-Trump. You know what I mean? They spend every day, they don't even align with other people. They don't call up Twitter. They don't call up Facebook. They don't call up Google and say, especially Google, they don't call them up and say, hey, let's take down Trump. They just do it. They on go. They don't like him.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. The other video that was taken down, I think I think this was on Twitter, was Trump retweeted a video of homeowners pointing guns at protesters. So that's the other one with like Donald Trump just lumped into that group of like just.
I mean, that's they right to have guns in their yard, but come on, young, like.
Well, why would you retweet that as a president?
That's what I'm saying. That's what the fuck I'm trying to say. They gonna have to put your homes like the shit he be doing. They don't be like, woo, they don't say shit.
Right. Well, let
that be a Democratic president doing some crazy shit like that. They be all over his fucking ass.
Yeah, I mean, it just literally looks like a big fear kind of like promotion type thing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like white people, you arm yourselves because they're coming for you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And if they're on your block,
get away with so much shit. Oh, like it's fucking.
Rick, I kind of agree with you, but then I don't. I honestly believe within the last few years since Trump has come to presidency, white people have been losing their jobs. They've been being caught on social media. And the biggest thing is, as minorities, we know you don't do that. We've known straight up there's two sets of rules. And if we randomly pull a gun on someone, it better be there's no way out, last line of defense.
They losing their jobs because if they saying some racist shit, it's finally caught on camera them saying that shit.
Yeah.
Without this technology, it's like the police they getting fired because now we got you on candid camera. Like we see you now.
But also it was more of a privilege because if you're a white person doing that, they'll be like, oh, it's okay, Tom. We understand. We'll let it go.
Right,
but they can't really do that no more. And I think that's what's shocking them because they're like, oh, there's no such thing as white privilege. But then when those couples got arrested for pulling the guns on them, everyone's like, I don't get it. Why are they getting arrested? It's like, remember the white privilege you thought that you didn't have? Yeah. Well, you did have it. You didn't understand you had it, and now you're losing it. So enjoy. Enjoy not being able to use it fully because you thought you didn't have it because it's gone
now. All right, so let's keep it moving with Donald Trump then. So that's just Donald Trump on the videos. So an asylum immigration rule has been struck down this past week. This is coming from the Washington Post, dated July 1st. Quoting, a federal judge in Washington struck down a Trump administration policy late Tuesday that bars most Central Americans and other migrants from requesting asylum at the southern border, saying the government failed to justify making the sudden change last July without public notice or comment. Continuing, the policy is aimed at blocking Central American migration by requiring asylum seekers from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and elsewhere to apply for asylum in countries they pass through on the way to the United States, particularly Mexico or Guatemala. Right. This is from Judge Timothy Kelly of the district. In his opinion, so in his opinion, he pretty much just said that it's unconstitutional. So that's a shot at Trump. You know what I mean? It's like, luckily there's still some level-headed people out there. You know what I mean? Because without them, things like this can't happen. But anyway, that's another L for Donald Trump this week. And then the EU is reopening its borders, except for the United States. They're like, U.S. not.
You know what I mean? Like, as they should. If I was there, I don't even blame them. Like, how I'm going to be mad at them because we can't get our shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit starts from the top. It's, you know what I'm saying? That's leadership. And he's showing poor leadership right now. We're in a time of crisis, and our shit is fucked up way more than every fucking nation out here. And we America, Holmes. And how we the worst fucking junk handling it.
You know, I think what's kind of funny is they have.
It's leadership. That's basically it. It's
starts from the top, right? Leadership starts from the top. People get their shit.
And
it
makes a huge difference. And it just does. You know, like having the right kind of leadership in a situation.
He's downplaying. He's been downplaying this shit
because he's used to bad running.
Nah, man.
Donald Trump is used to bailing this shit. That's what he's done with his wives. That's what he's done in business. Can't do it as president, and he's showing, unfortunately, as a leader.
Yeah, he's still saying the shit. One day is going to disappear.
Now he wants to win again, which is like, why?
Man, this right here, this right here is
the Supreme Court. You guys mentioned that.
No, I'm saying this right here. In the time of need when we needed a fucking leader as a nation, he failed.
Okay, keeping it moving.
Go ahead. Real quick before
go ahead.
There's something that Ronald Reagan said that it's been popular for the last 40 years. It's America used to be that shining city on top of the hill, and I think that's kind of where we are. We're at the point where No one thinks that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So you could say 10, 20 years ago, the EU would have said, how's America going to handle the pandemic? Right. And nowadays they're like,
but you know what?
It's like, well, I think you know what I mean?
You know what I also think it is though? Us as Americans, dog, we got, and I'm glad that we do, we got a rack of fucking freedoms, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew when this shit was going down and people started, you know, saying quarantine and shit, I knew there was going to be about 33% of Americans is going to be like, you can't tell me to do shit. This is my right to leave my fucking house. Mm-hmm. This is my right to go to the bar. This is my right to do this. Woo, woo. Fuck that. If I get sick, I get sick. That's my right. And that's what the fuck is happening right now.
That's not a bigger problem as inequality. Because if you look at the 4th of July and Juneteenth, you have Black people saying, oh, that's our real holidays, Juneteenth. And then you have white America saying, oh, no, it's the 4th of July. So all of a sudden, that division is enough to where when a problem happens, people are already...
Hold on. I was just getting at how I do that, how we will handle it as a country. Because there's going to be that 33% might be kind of high. There's going to be that fucking 1/5 of Americans is going to be like, you can't tell me do nothing. I mean, they got fucking people in Texas suing the fucking state because they can't open their fucking bar.
But, you know, I like I said, I don't worry about people like that existing if the whole country is rolling as one. Like in the Clinton years when everybody was doing well and jobs were there, people were just like, well, I'm eating.
OG Bill. You know? Should I drop knowledge from OG Bill?
He was locking us up.
Look. He left George Bush 22 trillion.
Yeah.
Positive, not deficit. Mm-hmm. We was in the plus.
Yeah.
2 trillion surplus when he left office. Mm-hmm. Obama took over in a negative.
Yeah.
Nobody say shit. Everybody want to bring up that nut on that bitch dress. They don't bring up that he left office 22 trillion surplus. OG Bill. Mm-hmm. Second greatest president of all time, maybe 3.
Well, he locked a lot of us up, so I don't know.
Hey, but I'll push back on that too, because when he signed the crime bill, come on, if you listen to my show and Alex show, I told you shit last year. When the crime bill, motherfucker, it really is Alex show. I'm sorry, Alex, it's your show. We co-host.
It's anyway, teamwork.
But if you look back during the crime bill, a lot of Democratic mayors at the time were pushing for the crime bill.
Yeah, they were.
Because it was the crack epidemic and crime was fucking sky high. Nobody knew that this shit was going to turn out this way. That's why I was so mad. I didn't think Joe Biden was going to be a good candidate, because how the fuck do I know that? And I'm average Rick, who just watched the news and saw this shit on a fucking news channel, and this motherfucker going through debates and they leaning on him about the crime bill, and he don't even spit the shit out.
Right.
He just I'm like, oh yeah, I hope he don't go against Trump. He gonna lose. Because how the fuck do I know this shit? And that'd been my pushback, like Slim. Yeah, wanted me to do this shit. Yeah, now I know it's fucked up now.
Right on. Once again, this is Open Shots, that show. And so the last point is coming up with what you guys are literally talking about right now, which is elections. Biden is taking the lead in campaign money, and he's backed by G.W. Bush or George, Bush supporters.
Yeah, but
This is coming from the New York Times, dated July 2nd, 2020. Quoting, for the second consecutive month, Mr. Biden's haul, $141 million, was bigger than Mr. Trump's $131 million, a striking reversal after Mr. Biden had financially limped and skimped through much of 2019 and early 2020. Mr. Biden had raised less than $9 million in a month as recently as January. Okay, continuing, and I'm going to end it on this. The president, and then continuing, quote, Mr. Trump still maintains an enviable war chest that now stands at $295 million. Okay, so Biden is now actually getting into the race, but overall, Trump still has a huge amount of more money. Is that going to make a difference come November?
Nah, because Hillary Clinton was crushing him in the money last time in 2016.
Well, I don't know if that means translate the same way to Trump supporters and his
definitely.
Base.
But Trump's going to lose a lot, man. This coronavirus fucking his shit up. I'm sorry. The way he's handling
what's making
a lot of the motherfucking independents, they're not going to lean towards him. And a lot of people that didn't want to vote for Hillary, and they seeing how Trump's handling clutch situations, he handled it like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you a Bible thumper and all you care about is abortion and Supreme Court, then no, you're never gonna vote for fucking Joe Biden.
Okay, but here's the other thing. Somebody broke. Go ahead.
The X factor is definitely going to be all the new voters coming in, because you're talking about people who started Trump's presidency who are at the age of 14, 15, and they're all going to be 18. That's really what's going to push it, because the U.S. Census, they're projecting us to be, 350 million? So that's a lot of new voters.
Yeah, but then not everybody go out and vote. I mean, last time we only had 125 million people vote.
That's the factor.
Last time.
You can get
only half America voted last in 16.
Yeah. If you get all these new people in, it's a game changer.
And now Trump shouldn't win, young, because I don't think he expanded his base. He didn't. He didn't. But I think he actually dummied down like long people that have been Republicans in fucking the House and Senate. He dummied they fucking shit down.
Yeah, but the other thing is, but his base has become so much more fierce. They're willing to die,
His base is like fucking rednecks with fucking pitchforks who like having sex with their daughters. I mean, what the fuck?
Don't like wearing masks. All right, so this is just one last point, and I'm gonna end it on this. Is that Trump? This sucks for him as a president right now, as the incumbent. It just sucks overall, but then it sucks even more when you look at it in terms of leadership. Donald Trump feels that he has to get out there and travel to these campaign rallies and not wear masks and be like, it's okay. So he's showing those people that hold on.
And that's why Florida
Joe Biden is making a resurgence in money and in terms of really winnability, and he doesn't have to go anywhere. Right. He's like, we're not supposed to go anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? So
it makes Donald Trump, I feel like sense. And like I was saying,
tires at this point to do whatever he
has
to
do. His leadership skills in a time of crisis
lose.
Sucks. He gets fucking negative 36 points for his leadership skills in fucking time of crisis.
All right, so that's pretty much our opening topic here on Open Shots. Once again, the show, Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with my co-host by the name of
Rick.
Rick, what you sipping on?
Well, fucking Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Mr. Sean Taylor's No Vowels.
I'm about to get some Jameson too, though.
What you sipping on?
Milk? Next time.
Water still not. That's all good. Yeah, peer pressure.
You know what? I got fucking strawberry milk up in here. Don't even trip.
Right. Shout out to the producer. Shout out to our producer, Los, for putting this together one more time. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying?
What you drinking on, Los? Look like you got a fucking Bud Light, Holmes. What you drinking, cuz? Yeah.
We're going to keep it moving with coronavirus. To recap, our topics for the evening are, we started off with Donald Trump. Our next topic is coronavirus. After coronavirus, we're going to move on to a question that we're going to ask about the South. And then we're going to talk about sports, and then we're going to wrap up this show. But we'll get to those parts. Right now, we're at coronavirus. So Wednesday's record number of U.S. cases, they have spiked in Arizona, Florida, South Carolina, and Nevada. So I'm on this one site called globalpandemics.org, and you can literally go look at the United States and zoom into a location like damn near to your neighborhood on how severe the cases are. And right now, Florida is just bubbling. I mean, from Central Florida all the way down.
And that used to be my vacation spot. Yeah, I'm about to be like, fuck Florida, for real.
Yeah, if you look at the link I sent you guys earlier, and then there's pockets around the South.
Every fucking year, young. Fuck that.
Then there's pockets of reds like all over, looking like Skittles in a bag, kind of around
SEC
states. You know what I'm saying, for the Southeastern Conference. And then you have like Arizona and Nevada, which is just like big blocks of red. Like big old chunks of red. Like
all them states that try to open up early, and they all try to cater to Trump. Now they getting hit hard.
They were talking major shit. And they were talking. I mean, like, we know more than the scientists type of shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was almost sickening because you're like, I have a friend and he thinks it's a conspiracy that they're fixing the numbers. And I told him, bro.
Yeah.
He said, look at the protests. They're protesting now. And you see nobody's getting sick. I said, bro, dude, it takes 2 weeks. Just wait. Wait. It takes 2 weeks. And now look, 2 weeks later. So I hit him up and I said, hey, man, how about them 2 weeks?
Yeah.
He went in.
Memorial Day weekend fucking live people up, yeah.
Yeah, especially in the South. It was like, man, fuck coronavirus. We out here on the Gulf Coast. You know what I'm saying? Just like whatever, man. And they took them to the little towns. There was
that shit was crazy.
Virginia. Yeah. There was a school. There was a school on like Freedom High School, something in Loudon High School. They had like I think it was like 20 students went to like whatever, some vacation, or they went away to like the South, maybe Florida, some shit. Oh no, Myrtle Beach. 20 of them came back. They infected the entire town.
Did you hear what them dumb motherfuckers out Alabama was doing?
Is thinking about shutting down school because of those 20 kids who went to Myrtle Beach.
You heard about that motherfuckers about Alabama? The motherfuckers going to parties and shit, and if somebody is infected with the shit, corona. And the who can get the shit, hey, what the fuck? Hey, that's why I always tell people don't never let nobody from the South be smarter than you, young.
This is what happened in Florida with people where the numbers are going up. It's essentially at like Walmart, people are like, I don't have to wear my mask, that type of stuff. Like,
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't.
The level of unruliness to just obey what the government is trying to make other.
Can we get a clip of this? Can we hear what this guy say?
Yeah. So let's go, producer. Go ahead, play that.
Wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Thank you for your comment.
Classic.
We'll throw God's wonderful breathing system out the door. You're all turning your backs on it.
In the beginning, God formed man out of the earth and breathed his breath in him, and he became a living soul. Where do you derive the authority to regulate human breathing? What you say is the political dogma that they're trying to shove down our throats on every commercial, in every store, and it's disgusting.
Every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity.
Let me ask you all, do you believe you're God? Do you believe you can override God's divine plan for our lives?
Lord, I told y'all.
And stomping on our constitutional rights by these...
What I tell y'all, like 10 minutes ago.
Or laws you want to mandate.
All right, we're good.
And then I tell you, motherfuckers out there, you can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Yeah. Motherfucker, what this fucking doctor telling you, don't go outside. Shit, you gonna fucking die.
Well, okay, like remember that.
We wonder why we never gonna take care of this shit because leadership stopped from the top. This motherfucker came out in fucking February or fucking March when the shit really hit the fan and was like, man, we need to hunker down. And don't give us a how to open up phase 1 and the next day tweet, liberate fucking Michigan, do all this other bullshit. We wouldn't be in this shit. Trying to tell you, it's his fucking fault.
Well, they have that eclipse that came. And if you wanted to see the eclipse, there was a precise path that it went through as it passed through the United States, right? And everybody was like, wow, I'm so amazed. These scientists are so smart. They were able to figure out how something a light years away from our planet is going to come by and where it's going to pass. And then they're like, oh, stay inside and wear a mask. Oh, y'all don't know that.
Exactly. What the fuck?
I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah. That shit crazy, man. Like, what the fuck, dog? Yeah, you protecting me when you wear your mask. You see what I'm saying? And when I wear mine, I'm protecting you. That's how we stop shit.
Yeah. So let's keep it moving with coronavirus. That's just happened to be what's happening in like the Sun Belt states, like we've been pointing out before. I call them SEC states pretty much, and then like the Southwest, it was blocks of them. So Dr. Fauci is warning of a possible 100,000 new cases. Right now I'm on
really over 50,000.
Yeah, well, right now I'm at Worldometers. Total deaths, we have 132,318 deaths, and overall confirmed cases 2,935,000. You know who's behind us? Brazil, and that guy's openly like it's a hox, and they're behind us at 1,578,000. I'm sorry, 1,570,000. And then it's Russia, India, Peru, Spain, Chile, UK, Mexico's got a high number. So, I mean, Mexico, I think even Mexicans are like, we're not jumping the border. We're not coming over the border this month. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
Arizona, we're good. We're good.
We like
4%
of the whole world. Our population is like 4%, maybe 5% of the whole world. But we're 25% of all the cases and 25% of all deaths.
I mean, to our credit, we probably are testing more people than the rest of the world. So our numbers will.
Testing is a good thing. Don't say it like it's a bad thing.
Well, no.
Not that you know when somebody's positive, you just stay your ass home and you're not affecting more people.
This is the reality. The reality is America compared to a Western country, if they're battling it and winning it, America should be somewhere at that same level. You know what I mean?
What you mean? The fucking European Union is considered a westernized nations, and their curve is going down.
That's what I'm saying. So
we're doing something wrong then, right?
Well, yeah, we're definitely doing something wrong. So I wouldn't look at the fact that we have a lot of people with it as we're in trouble. I would look at it as where we are on our curve compared to the rest of the Western nations. The rest of the Western nations are proving we don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. Okay. Okay.
So moving on with coronavirus, Gilead, which it looks like they're a drug maker who's going to be trying to come out with a coronavirus drug, or they are coming out with it. It's the set price is $3,200, and this is not a vaccine. This is just a drug that will help reduce the severe symptoms of COVID-19. So they're starting out at $3,200. I don't know if that's supposed to be some kind of miracle drug or whatever, but it's priced at going to be $3,200. So the people that really need it, are they even going to be able to afford it? Because I think you have to take at least 2 or 3 doses. You know what I'm saying? That's like almost $10,000. Just be like, bam, just like
nobody got that type of money to cash out. So of course we ain't gonna be able to get the shit. We just gonna have to thug it out.
Well, what the American people need is universal health care, and that's about all. Thank you.
Yeah, they getting it now, though. They getting it now.
I mean, because I mean,
not getting universal health care, but you got to do a better job explaining it. I feel we need to do a better job on the Affordable Care Act.
Well, I mean, how I've always looked at how we have medical is we are not an advanced society. We are at the primitive stages. We can't get rid of simple things like racism. So in an advanced society, somewhere in the future, they don't need money. They don't have crime. They don't have none of that. So until we can think on that level, you're not gonna solve healthcare problems.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't have. We are like cavemen. Cavemen
right.
trying to. You know what I mean? We're not.
Because at the end of the day, this is America, and it's all about a profit. No one's ever gonna go and dive into something unless they're gonna make some money.
Exactly.
Had to say.
We're not there yet.
So many people died because they didn't want to visit the ERs during the coronavirus. There's like some ridiculous type of number where people are scared to go to ERs because, and rightfully they should be. And,
money.
But the worst thing that may come of that is that a lot of when coronavirus was kind of hot around this area, they were like, call your doctor. He's, it's a flu. He's going to tell you what to do until you reach this stage.
Yeah.
It's like by the time you reach that stage, you're getting there and you're already dying. When it's like, you know what I mean? That just sucks in general. I just wanted to interrupt.
The only thing I can't say, right, is that the deaths have been going down. Because at one point, we was almost like at an 8 or 9% clip. When we was at like 1 point something million and we had like 100,000 deaths, we were like, yeah, what the fuck? Now we at 2 million cases and we at 125. Now we down to 5%. Last time I checked the news, we was around 5%, which is a good thing. But for a minute, even 8%, 7%, that's kind of high. Even though we dropped 3 percentage points or whatever it was, that's a good sign. I don't know if that means, I'm not a scientist, right? I'm just speaking my mind right now. I don't know if that means that, certain people are starting to, I don't know if we getting immune to the shit, you know what I'm saying? Or whoever's catching it, their bodies can fight it different. It's still, though, fucking 5% clip of deaths for any fucking infection is fucking terrible. Because the flu is 0.1%, Holmes. Like, what the fuck? This shit crazy.
Right on. All right, so once again, this is that show, Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. Once again, it is Open Shots. This is that show. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with
Rick.
Rick, what you sipping on?
Get the motherfucking yeah.
Yeah, I'm over here on some
Ninja Turtles. You already know.
I'm just staying on the base over here. I'm just staying
Lowe's over here bullshitting. He ain't take a shot. ST ain't take a shot. He don't
co-host. Yeah, so we got a co-host by the name of Rick. We got a special guest once again by the name of Mr. Taylor, Sean Taylor. No vowels. What's good with you? What's good with you? Everything good? Still keeping it moving. Once again, shout out to the producer extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? The one and only Los. So keep it moving with the show. Open shots. Started out with Donald Trump. Moved it to Corona. Our next topic, our current topic right now, is a question: is the South holding us back? We're gonna keep it moving with sports after that, and then of course our wrap up. So, questions: is the South holding us back? So they're leading the country in new cases. We just heard this on the people who are at these town councils, pretty much trying to urge their whatever. And we just heard it.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Just the way her brother likes it.
This is on YouTube.
They want to throw God's
look at this dumb bitch
system out the door. You're all turning your backs on it.
In the beginning,
look at this dumb hoe.
Man at the earth and breathed his breath in him, and he became a living soul. Where do you derive the authority to regulate?
Look at these dumbass hoes. Yeah.
What you say is the political dogma that they're trying to shove down our throats on every commercial, in every store, and it's disgusting.
Every that are obeying
I'm mad at this one, dog. She one of us, young.
Arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested
Why
for
she gotta be
crimes against
Spanish, dog?
humanity.
Let me ask you all, do you believe you're God? Do you believe you can override God's divine plan for our lives? You're removing our freedoms and stomping on our constitutional rights by these communist dictatorship orders, or else you want to mandate?
Yeah, we're good.
Scientists are communists, cuz.
Yeah, all right. So we heard that earlier, and then of course, they're leading the country in new cases, especially in the South Sun Belt.
Remember back in March, they was like, New York, y'all can't come to Florida. And now it's reverse. People in New York like, yeah, you got a quarantine before you come over here.
Yeah. So another question is, and we're gonna get into it because you guys had a lot to say about it. I'll just get into it. But last show we had mentioned it. We didn't get into it, but Mr. Taylor, you had mentioned in terms of economics, the difference between the South and the rest of the country in terms of what's coming in, what is actually established, and the actual benefit of the South to the rest of the Union. You know what I mean? Because I didn't mean to say it like that, but to the rest of the country. Sorry, before I start speaking Civil War, and then it's like, he said it, it's official. We can do it now.
He about to say, be it as it may.
Like, well, he said it. He said it. What I was saying, he said it. Bang, bang, bang.
Shit. Yeah.
No, but
back in terms of
how the South economically, what they're doing right now, currently in our economic system for the country, because you had gotten into this in the last show, so I just wanted to give you a chance to get back into it.
So basically, what I just look at something my father had told me a long time ago. You can tell basically that here in America, we have a few cities that make us relevant and a few states that make us relevant. And if you take those states away and you take those cities away, we're pretty much like, average country. We're probably not first class world power, superpower, and we're probably not a third world country. We're somewhere in the middle. And a lot of the states that do make us relevant and a lot of the cities that make us relevant are your coastal cities and even your northern cities. And a lot of the cities that hold us back, who can't compete on a global scale, are in the South. And so is that mentality. So they're pretty much, it's like they're all coming along for the ride. They will brag about stuff like farming and all of that. But California, that's one of the biggest and greatest agricultural centers of the world. Their cows come from there, where they have their steaks. The wines, the orange and lemon orchards used to come from there. So they made a big deal and said, hey, you guys got to cut back, let the rest of the country feed. But it's a lot of hype, you know what I mean? The South is riding on a lot of hype, but at the end of the day, they are not a lot of the contributing cities or states that make America very irrelevant on the global scale.
Just bringing it back to, is the South holding us back? An abortion law in Louisiana has been struck down by the United States Supreme
common
Court.
Sense came through.
So this is coming from NPR, from Nina Totenberg. You know what I'm saying? She's one of the best, probably the best in terms of Supreme Court reporting. Quoting her, by a 5-4 vote, the court struck down a Louisiana law that was virtually identical to a Texas law it invalidated just 4 years ago.
Right.
Chief Justice John Roberts cast the fifth and decisive vote. Shout out to John Roberts. He's actually got a good head on.
You know, he ain't agree with
it. They put him as a Republican. Hey, but he, you know what I'm saying?
He went on, what's that word? It's a big word. He went on precedent, whatever.
Precedent, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
so
precedence.
So if they did it back 4 years ago,
precedence.
So then
Chief Justice identified changing his vote by pointing to the doctrine of stare decisis, which says the court should usually stand by its precedents.
Right.
For me,
that's right.
Yeah. So the
common sense came through for him.
Yeah. So one of the rules in this law was in Louisiana was that doctors had to have admitting rights to ERs, and the doctors who were also working, in abortion clinics, surgeons or whatever, they were denied every single attempt to get an admitting access to a local hospital, because that was a requirement to have to have an admitting license to any hospital, as well as then you can perform abortions or whatever. And so they made it impossible for them. So the U.S. Supreme Court struck that down. And then the other issue with this law in Louisiana was that it had something to do with the distance. They had to be within 30 miles of the hospital or of the clinic.
I thought they was only going to have one in the whole fucking state.
They did before this law. Like when this law is riding, it was going to be the law
Texas
coming
was trying to do the same shit too, and Texas is fucking big as shit.
All right, so that's this is Louisiana, and then we also know that Louisiana is pretty much has been the heart of the KKK since like its inception. That's where it started, and then it spread out to like pretty much everywhere else, Mississippi, Alabama. But that Louisiana had the most lynchings prior Civil War, and post Civil War.
I wasn't aware of that. I thought fucking
Louisiana. I thought it'd be Alabama.
I thought it was gonna be like
Louisiana
Arkansas, Mississippi.
Louisiana killed a lot of people. Yeah. Anyway, but that's Louisiana. Yeah, but that's Louisiana on their abortion law. So shout out to you pro-choicers, the ability, because, I don't know what it's like to be a female and, have a decision to be made. But, you still should feel safe. And, if you have to make it, it shouldn't be impossible. I think that was the biggest issue in this case was the denied access for the doctors in ERs. And then that means that you can't be allowed to have the license to perform abortions, which, of course, is going to work if you're, in a conservative southern state. But then the other one was they had to be within 30 miles of where they worked at, it makes it difficult when there's only so many clinics in the state. You know what I mean? So, hey, once again, I'm your host, Alex, along here with Rick.
Motherfucker Rick, you hear me?
What you sipping on?
Motherfucking Hanneken, a.k.a. Ninja Turtles, about to take a shot of Jameson. Alex, you bullshitting. Los got that light. ST got that water.
Right on. ST, what you sipping on? Mr. Sean Taylor, no
Bob. What you sipping on? That strawberry.
You know what I'm saying? It's just the essence. You just on the essence. Shout out once again, producer extraordinaire Carlos G. You know what I'm saying? This is our show.
I got put these away. You hear me? I'll be right back.
Yeah. So we started out with Donald Trump, moved on to coronavirus, and then our last question was, is the South holding us back? And now we're going to keep it moving on sports. This is that show. Hit us up, openshotsdmv@gmail.com. You can catch us on iTunes. You can catch us on Spotify.
Big dog.
We are also on YouTube as well. Yeah. Still looking for sponsors. You know what I'm saying? This is that show. Open Shots. Hit us up, openshotsdmv@gmail.com. We're going to start back again with the topics. We talked about Donald Trump. Then we moved on to coronavirus. We just answered or looked at the question of, is the South holding us back?
Hey, yeah, hold up.
Now we're going to move on to
why
sports.
We act like the whole time he ain't say the Kung Flu Jones? That one racist as shit.
Hey, man.
Yeah, we went like a whole month without even bringing that shit up. That was racist shit. Ain't mean to cut you off, but you were saying shit like,
we're doing out there. It's been out there. All right, so let's move on to sports.
Nobody says shit.
We're recording on the 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? Fireworks probably popping off in the background. You know what I'm saying? In the audio, you probably gonna hear that because
that's why my dog barking. If y'all hear.
The beauty of the Yeti, the beauty of having a good mic. You know what I'm saying? Which I love my Yeti. You know, shout out to Yeti. Sponsor me on that. Maybe I'd give a free sponsorship.
Oh, and by the way, fireworks are illegal out here. So
but they gonna do what they want to do. So
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Which is not a problem to me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather that kind of crime than like people breaking into my house. So go nuts with fireworks. All right, so let's move on to sports. So the NBA is starting in the month. We're recording on the 4th of July. So
they still be doing their preseason games by the time we come back.
So, they're starting on the July 31st, right?
Yeah,
they're all gonna be in Florida still, Orlando. That's still the whole plan, and
where they gonna go?
I don't know. You got to tell me. You got to fill me in on the NBA in terms of contracts. You know, are
any players not attending? Done. They already played 80% of the season, so the players are stupid for coming back. They already been paid.
Well, I mean,
you know what I think? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I hate that shit, right? I think that LeBron was sitting in May and he was sick to his stomach watching The Last Dance. And he was like, we got to come back.
You mentioned this last time. You said he was sick.
He was so sick. He had the flu.
Right. But
he had COVID-19.
I feel you on that.
He was so fucking sick.
Let's talk about what the NBA is going to look like in a month.
There's going to be nobody in the stands. And I told you this shit. I was just hearing this shit on the radio. The motherfuckers that's living in the bubble, they stay in the bubble. The people that live in the hotels, they go home. They leave the bubble. They come fucking back. I said this last time. You can't stop them motherfuckers doing what the fuck they do. And if they motherfuckers, what's going to take for the NBA to stop or any sport? A motherfucker to die?
No, they said that if it just starts looking like people are getting affected and stuff
25 NBA players already tested positive, and they haven't even got into the bubble.
I mean, that's expected. That's expected. You know what I mean?
That's a pretty high number, especially with the type of sport that it is. I mean,
and they're not even letting all the teams in. They're only letting 22 teams in, and it's only 15 men on a roster. So it's not like an NFL number. 25 on the first weekend that they started testing people. How many gonna test positive next week?
All right, so let's talk logistics. They're all confirmed to be playing at one central location, and they're all going to be
Disney in Orlando, where they shit looking like fucking New York.
No, I understand it, but Disney, the sports complex, they have a lot. I'm asking for where all the games are going to be played. Are they all playing at one central location?
Same zone, but same fucking zone, and they're not fucking testing the Disney workers.
No, like what I got it's supposed to be they have enough to play where like 2 games at a time. You know, I mean, I think there's like 4. It's a pretty good setup. Like the way how I was watching them describe it, they were just like, this is perfect for what we need. You know what I mean? So the whole idea is to be, if you're like a West Coast team or you're playing another West Coast team, you can be on the other court playing at the same time with the East Coast, or then they were saying that they might have.
It really don't fucking matter, though. It really don't fucking matter.
So I mean,
once you get adjusted to your East Coast time, it don't fucking. It take you like.
Well, no, it's not for the players; it's for the watchers. So, like, let's say I'm on California and I want to watch the Lakers. I'm not going to watch them the same time.
They can still play late games. They can still play late games if they want to.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. Still, you got to hit that target audience. You know,
I'm going to watch it, but I think still believe they're non-essential workers. They shouldn't be playing right now.
Right, yeah, they're not essential. All right, so that's it for the NBA. We're talking about sports. All right, so MLB, anybody got any chimes on MLB in terms of their contract?
Because only thing I missed, we gonna miss the Nationals ring ceremony. I don't really give a fuck about that shit like that. But I'm a home team guy. And then we won that motherfucking jump. I got my World Series set. I got 2 of them bitches. I got a World Series jersey. My man went out there jumping. Flea went out there. Took my father to the World Series game. Got a jersey. All that shit. I got all that shit.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is MLB, how they're looking. So what do they got, like a 66, 60 game? Oh, well, I'm just talking about terms of sports and contracts because you're supposed to be the sports contract
guy. I don't care about baseball. Bye.
All right. So no chimes on MLB, and that's usually how it is in the summer because
I know we
normally don't talk about baseball.
Breaks
anyway.
on summertime. What you talking about, home?
Yeah, we normally don't talk about baseball.
Remember
anyway.
last summer we was like where the rap beefs at. There ain't no rap beefs.
Exactly.
We ain't talking about shit. So
you are correct. All right, so let's move on to our last topic here on when we're talking about sports here at Open Shots, openshotsdmv@gmail.com. NFL. So I'm going to start off with this, and this came from the producer. Producer want to chime in, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to jump in there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Gravel pit, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. But the economics was pointed out to me by the producer, by our producer today. Of course, our producer. So Pepsi, Geico, FedEx, they're all pretty much saying like, you know, Redskins, time to, you know, we're not really happy with your name.
Okay.
Nike is also saying like, we're not making your jerseys.
Okay, I'm gonna say what I have to say, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. Let me say it.
Tell me, like, so for all of our listeners, for all of our new listeners that may not know, Rick, you are a go hard
Redskins. Not hard Redskins fan.
All right, so let it be known. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So 4 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, this shit would probably fuck me up, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. The name change don't bother me. I'm more offended if these motherfuckers move their stadium to Northern Virginia. That will piss me off more.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I'll be so mad because that's not fucking Washington. Even though the Capital Beltway is supposed to be the Washington, D.C. area, nobody that live on this side of the Beltway consider Northern Virginia Washington, D.C. You see what I'm saying? If you don't live in the Down County, Montgomery County, or the whole PG County, the whole motherfucking Capital Beltway, that's not, except if you live in the city, that's not Washington. So that fucking stadium shit where they gonna move out Leesburg, fuck that shit. That's Virginia,
Leesburg.
Fuck that shit. That's not fucking Washington. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand the people that's gonna be working the stadium then. Who fucking live in Leesburg, Virginia? That's not Washington.
Hey, see. So the funny shot is that's where I lived when I first moved out here. I lived in Leesburg, so that's funny. And a lot of the Skins player live in Loudoun County,
right? Because they practice facility is in Ashburn.
It's in Ashburn, right? And that's pretty much Leesburg.
Look, so I, in a way, I'm like, all right. Do I find the name offensive? No, I don't. But the way the world is right now, it don't really bother me right now as far as changing the Redskins name. Because at the end of the day, I cheer for my home team. I don't fucking watch fucking hockey for shit. Couldn't tell you who the fuck is on the roster. But if the Capitals are in the fucking playoffs, I'm cheering for them motherfuckers. And I expect the motherfuckers who don't watch football, if the Redskins or the Red Tails or the Warriors, whatever the fuck they call them, if they in the motherfucking playoffs, I hope y'all cheering for them too. Because I cheer for all my home teams. You understand what I'm saying?
The name change, I would consider rooting for the Redskins, but right now I just can't.
I don't see the name change don't bother me.
And your original owner was racist as hell. The last thing to integrate in the NFL.
Right, I understand it, and they took his statue down as they should, right? As they should, and they finally named the fucking upper level the Bobby Mitchell jump, who was the first black player to play for the Redskins, right? And he Hall of Famer, right? I get all that. That don't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? The only thing. I ain't gonna push back because I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. But like, is it every year when football season comes? It's always change the name. And as soon as we go 0-5, everybody stops caring.
Well, nobody cared to begin with. You are a Redskins fan.
I'm being dead serious because literally, people been protesting this shit since the 80s. Y'all might not remember this, but in 1991, when we won the Super Bowl, there was Native Americans protesting outside the Metrodome about changing the name. So it ain't like it's just brand new. It's every fucking football year, every time fucking July and June hit, change name, right?
It's the mistakes of this country. They allowed that to happen when they should have taken care of it a long time ago.
If I was Dan Snyder and if I really ain't want to change the name, he don't have to do nothing. Because at the end of the day, Nike could stop selling Redskin jerseys on their website, but they have a contract with the NFL to make all jerseys for all NFL teams. So if you were a Redskin fan, you can still buy your jersey on redskins.com or NFLshop.com, right? And if nobody wants to build your stadium, D.C., Maryland, or Virginia, Daniel Snyder still owns the land that Jack Kent Cooke used to own. Remember, it used to be called Raul John Stadium, or it used to be Raul John, Maryland, because he bought so much land. He bought 2 different zip codes, and he named Raul John after his 2 sons. But after he passed away,
you go ahead and stand by that legacy.
After he died, it became Landover, Maryland. So if Daniel Snyder wanted to be petty, I'm not saying he should do this, but if he wanted to be petty in D.C., and Maryland don't want to give me a new stadium, or Virginia because of my team name, I would just do what the Patriots did, because that's what New England did. When Robert Kraft tried to hear me out.
So what does it?
Robert Kraft
what does it say about your fans coming if you don't want to change the name in everything that's going on right now?
But you're not hearing me. You're missing my subject. He doesn't need any other state to build his own stadium. He could build FedEx Field, a new FedEx Field. Right next to the old FedEx.
He had a hard time getting the Republicans to back him in getting the stadium he wants. So I don't.
No, I agree. In Washington D.C.,
end this.
In D.C. he can't. In D.C. he can't.
30 seconds.
All I was saying, if he wanted to be petty and say fuck everybody and fuck changing my name, he could build a new football stadium right next to FedEx Field.
Up at OpenShotsDMV@gmail.com. I'm your host, Alex, along here with my man by the name of.
I'm with Rick with my hating ass cousin, fucking Alex. Love you, baby.
Yeah, I'm such a hater. We got a special guest over here by the name of Sean Taylor with No Vows.
I see you got that Nationals hat.
Yeah. And once again, shout out to the producer extraordinaire. So let's wrap up on Open Shots. We started out with Donald Trump. Umbrella topic, moved on to coronavirus again, umbrella topic, and we moved on to a question. Is the South holding us back? And a couple questions to be had there. We just wrapped up with sports, and now here's the wrap up. State of the Union is what I like to call it, just in terms of in general, how you're feeling, in life. So, Rick, you got any stories? Anything that's like kind of where you're at right now, grounded in life, and just something.
I'm about to go to motherfucking North Carolina, Holmes. Like every time I watch the news, I'm like, North Carolina again. I'm going to Outer Banks. About to go there with my mother, my sister, her kids, and my kids. We about to do a little jump. I was gonna go to Florida, but I said, fuck no, they lunching. So, but the jump gonna be cool though. We not gonna be doing no dumb shit. We still gonna be practicing social distancing. It's a motherfucking beach house on the beach, so we got a private entrance to the beach. We good. I see more than one fucking person in my area. Right in the house.
Fly high. No lie. That's big, huh? Mr. Taylor, no vows. Sean Taylor, no vows. What's good with you, man? Your State of the Union, what's good?
Well, I like to kind of end because, I'm a media guy. I'm writing books, trying to do movies, writing scripts, and just something out of the entertainment world. A long-time icon died 2 days ago on Thursday. I'm sure a lot of the old heads, a lot of people grew up hearing about this guy or knew him. But he's the anchorman from NBC and ABC, Hugh Downs. So I first seen him on 2020. He used to be right across Barbara Walters. So the guy's iconic. He's somebody that you don't see really color when you look at the type of work that he's done. And hopefully his legacy will reflect that. Nothing will come out of the past saying that he was this kind of person or he did this kind of stuff. But he had a good run, and I appreciate all the work that he did during his career.
Rest in peace. Yeah, especially for good journalism,
Yes, very. When journalism was real.
Yeah, exactly. When journalism is like you actually had to get into the heart and think of things as opposed to like retweet, and then like dumb shit. You actually had to go out and like talk to snitches and somebody who just got out of jail as opposed to like
I'm trying to pull a bottle that's empty.
Like let's have a phone call and then whatever. All right, so my State the Union is actually a woman by the name of Michelle McNamara. So Michelle McNamara is so she is no longer with us, but she wrote this book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark, a woman's obsessive search for the Golden State Killer. So my State of the Union is because of we have technology. Her as a person was like so obsessed with like these serial killings, and they caught him because I think it ultimately came down to one of his relatives submitted a DNA sample to be like, hey, where am I from? And then it linked it to a latent print or some kind of blood that was related to the Golden State Killer. But she built like a web, or like she helped to promote and create this like web or wealth of internet sleuths, like at-home detectives. And so I think with her help and with a lot of other people's help and the public just in general, the network right now, for if you think you're getting away with a crime, or if you think that a crime's gotten away with, or whatever, it's become so much more difficult because of people like her. And so rest in peace to her for all of her work as a journalist. So that's my State of the Union. Once again, this is that show. Yeah, that's the close of it. You know what I'm saying? Open Shots DMV.
Oh, he fooled me.
Okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm your host, Alex Long, here with my co-host by the name of.
He fucked me up with that.
What are you sipping on over there?
Man, the motherfucking Donatello's got me hurting right now. They come for like a motherfucker. Yeah, he had me fucked up for me. I was like, again, yeah, like, yeah, what the fuck?
Showtime.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah.
Mr. Sean Taylor, Mr. Sean Taylor, no vowels. What's up? You chilling? You good?
Yes. SCZN.
This jump empty. Right. Let me go get the full jump.
Yeah. Once again, a shout out to our producer by the name of Carlos G. You know what I'm saying, Mr. The loose man up in the jump. Taking care of things. You know what I'm saying, making things unite. Once again, this is that show. Open Shots. Hit us up at openshotsdmv@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube's and iTunes podcast. You know what I'm saying? Open Shots.
Spotify and fucking iTunes. Yeah, we out there. Yeah. Where the money at, young? You ain't get no money, dog. Everybody know I be on motherfucking Spotify and iTunes. They got bread, homes. Why we broke? He like Suge Knight out this jump. He keeping everything, yeah. Bullshit, yeah. Oh, now he on pause because he don't want to talk. You know what I'm talking about, man? That's some bullshit, dog.
Once again, this is that show, Open Shots. Hit us up at Open Shots.
Oh, hey, Nash, Alex here again.
Yeah, we're recording on 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everybody who can make it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that y'all
got 3 minutes, cuz.
Instead of being out there in fireworks, you know what I'm saying? Slipping on that, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the producer, you know what I'm saying? Carlos G doing the thing.
30 seconds.
Co-host by the name of Rick, what you sipping on? Rick?
Jameson right now.
All right, do it. Yeah, it's it. And special guest again by the name of Mr. Sean Taylor, no vowels.
ST period.
Rah. How you doing over there? Hey. Well, once again, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for listening to us. This is that show for the 4th of July, 2020. You know what I'm saying? Everything's been fucked up.
Good. I'm fried right now. You hear me?
So this is that show for the 4th of July, 2020. Open Shots, hit us up, openshotsdmv@gmail.com. We hope that you'll listen to us again, and hopefully you learn something today. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, keep checking it out. Keep being safe. You know what I'm saying? Keep being a critical thinker, because that's, the type of listeners we try and get at. To everybody that's involved in this show, thank you for being a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Teamwork makes the dream work. I believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I love to pass the ball. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.